Thank you, God. Thank you. Because when you see the other side, I made more money in the crash than I did when I was going up. So the average person, because they don't have financial literacy, definition of words, and they're taught to just work for money, they don't see the other side. They cannot see what they cannot see. So when the markets crashed in 2008, I borrowed $300 million.
You borrowed $300 million. Now,
And I bought the best real estate in the world for pennies on a dollar. That's how you get rich. Not by working hard and putting in a stupid 401k full of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs. Those are for the peasants. Jeez. No, you know what I mean? What? That's what they tell the kids. Go to school, get a job, work hard, and put your money in a 401k or an IRA full of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs. I don't touch that garbage. It's trash. But you don't know if you don't know, right?
Well, so this is one of the things in your book, right? It's the concept of investing in assets and understanding the difference between an asset and a liability.
Definition.
So for the financially yet to be literate, what are those concepts and why are they so important?
Again, all coins are three sides, heads, tails, and the edge. Got to see the other side. So for there to be an asset, there has to be a liability by definition. If you understand that one, you'll say, okay, so here's the asset. What's the liability?
Give me an example.
Well, I wouldn't touch a mutual fund. You know, that's toxic. But the liability is the Black Rocks or the fund managers who package that stuff. All coins have three sides. I'm on the other side. I package it. That's why Buffett called, derivatives weapons of mass financial destruction. I package that debt. And that's how I make my money. So I know what those guys who are like BlackRock and all these guys, the mutual fund, the Vanguard, they're just packaging garbage and selling it. I wouldn't touch it.
What should the average person do with their savings right now from your perspective? Like in broad strokes, not some particular asset class or something, but what like if I have savings that I can put somewhere, what's a good strategy for me?
Well, you better study. A village idiot and their money are soon gone. They all disappear. If you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it's the #1 book in the world for 27 years. And I flunked out of school because I can't write. And the publishers of New York, like Simon and Schuster, they all turned Rich Dad, Poor Dad down. They said, because they're like my poor dad. These academics are the worst people on planet Earth because they have this stupid piece of paper that says, you're smarter than that guy over there. I used to say, my poor dad, it's a piece of paper. Show me your financials. Oh, I got my PhD. If you can understand the insanity of that somebody actually thinking their PhD makes them smarter than the village idiot out there. If you can understand that insanity. So anyway, I don't know where I was going with this whole thing. But that's why Trump and I are good friends, because we sit there and laugh and chuckle. When he was debating Hillary, that criminal, Biden, Jesus Christ. Well, they are. They are.
You're not wrong.
Well, when Hillary says, and he doesn't pay any taxes, and Trump says, that means I'm smart. I don't pay taxes. Only idiots pay taxes.
You're making a lot of friends with this stuff.
Oh, my poor dad hung on to his PhD. I'm like, you're broke, you're working hard, you pay taxes, and you're saving dollars, and they're printing dollars. But I have a PhD. My other friend has a real estate license. He says, I have a real estate license. You don't. I said, yeah, because I don't want. I have a real estate license. I think I'm doing my best for your audience to show the insanity of our public today. They think a lousy piece of paper like the dollar bill is important.
Well,
It's a piece of paper. It's a derivative.
if those things aren't important, what is?
Assets. So in Rich Dad Poor Dad, I said there's three main rules. The rich don't work for money. What I do as a capitalist is I create assets. So I take debt, all this, I assemble, I put a piece of real estate together or business, or like right now I'm up in northern Canada buying lithium fields. We're going to crush lithium for batteries, EV batteries and batteries. So we create assets. And so that asset pays money. So every month, so I have 1,600 rental units. Every month, 1,600 people who would probably went to school pay me rent. God bless them. And guess what? Because they're paying me and my properties are 100% debt, I pay no taxes. That's why Trump says I'm smart. But the average person says, well, I pay more taxes than you. I said, well, you're an idiot. No, if you understand tax law, America was founded as a tax revolt. 1773 was a thing called the Boston Tea Party. We don't want to pay taxes. But if you read Karl Marx in his book, The Communist Manifesto, taxes are essential for the spread of communism. My poor dad was also head of the labor union. What did Marx say about labor unions? Workers of the world unite. You understand?
You're getting back to the basics here. This is great.
But I understand this stuff. That's literacy, you know? So anyway, rich don't work for money. I create assets. We don't save money, and your house is not an asset. So the average poor person, went to college like my dad, PhDs, go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, and you buy a house because your house is your biggest asset. That is the dark side of the coin, but it's the light side for the idiots. They're doing what they think is smart. And the guys on my side, like Trump's side, going, I wouldn't do that. But you can't tell them that because they got this stupid piece of paper. Says, you're smart. My dad says, I'm smarter than your rich dad. I said, yeah, you're also broke.
So this is a radical thing for people to hear that haven't read your book. The idea that your home is
Radical.
an asset. I mean, I think this is the largest asset on most people's personal portfolio, personal balance sheet.
Their home.
Is their home, right? So
But
how is your home not an asset?
because you have to understand cash flow. Two most important words. If you read financials, that's what your banker wants to see. Your banker wants to see your financial, not your GPA, not your report card, not your college degree. They want to see assets, liabilities, and cash flow. So there's three basic parts to a financial statement: income statement, balance sheet, statement of cash flow. You can teach a monkey that.